Oh, yes, there we go. It's fine. Alright, hello. Hello. Okay, great. There we go. Feels loud. I think it might just be loud for me. It's probably just loud for me. Where's my buttons? Hi, Nate. I'm so sorry. I hope you're feeling a little bit better now, because that sucks. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out if this is... Is this... Does it just start the next... No, this is the beginning of last one. So do you have to start a new game every time? We might have to start a new game every time, which is very strange, but we'll do it. What kind of ice cream? What kind of ice cream? Also, hell yeah, Hannah. Stardew moment. Because I didn't save at the end of the last one, so we're just gonna start a new one, and I don't think anything carries over, like your choices or anything, so it'll be fine. Okay, this is still way too loud for me. I can only hear smooth jazz. Wallace Nightgrave. Great. Let me go. I don't remember any voices. So. Oh, I'm not going anywhere until I see her. Ooh, mint. Headmaster. She's already I'm sorry, Wallace, but she's already passed. There was nothing more they could have done. How? This academy teaches the best mages in the kingdom. Wallace Nightgrave, occupation student, age 16. Arcane art, necromancy. Necromancy. He's a necromancer, folks. He's a necromancer, folks. Looks like I'm and an Apollo mixed together. Oh, okay, give me 1 second. I have to grab something. It's right here. I just need to move. All right, good. Are you telling me that they couldn't do anything? Her condition was much worse than we thought. The kingdom's magic isn't advanced enough to treat something like this. Lucio Steelwind can rain meteors from the sky. William Frege can teleport entire caravans across the continent. Are you telling me that your mages couldn't cure one disease? Well, the thing is, Wallace, it's incuritis, so, like, it's in the name. Nikki! Please. Okay, so it was way too hot, so I did have to lay down for a minute. But our friend Author sent us a national anthem that was just performed, and me and Nikki both immediately went down a rabbit hole about it, so I was also like, well, it's a good thing I delayed stream, because I need to investigate this. It was rough. It was it was rough, and it was brutal. I'm sorry. I truly am. Emily. Oh, episode 2, The Walking Dead. Not that one. The other one. I'm sorry, Celeste, but there's no way out of this. Celeste's attention is sharply focused on the chessboard between you two. You can see her eyes quickly dart from piece to piece. Just give me a second. I can still win this. Celeste, there's no way for you to avoid checkmate next turn. Just surrender. She ignores you and continues staring at the pieces. There. What about that? Checkmate? Damn it! Would you two keep it down? We are in a library. Ms. Tamura glances at the chessboard. Mom's not dead yet. I hope you didn't spend the entire morning playing around. I've been working hard, Ruby. I've already learned 2 new spell formulas since we got here. Well, at least there's that. What about you, Cuthbert? Her, like, neck situation thing is so strange to me. There's something about it that bothers me, and I don't know what. Well... Your flustered stammering tells her exactly how much progress you've made. I couldn't find any books about the subject we've been looking into.
You've spent the entire day combing through the kingdom's imperial library, researching the Eye of Horus. During Celeste's trials, you awakened to a new ability that you never used before. Up until then, you thought that the Eye could only see surface-level thoughts. But during that moment with Garrick Pierce, the Eye of Horus was empowered, and you could see far more than usual. You told Miss Tamora about what happened, and it made you both wonder what other hidden abilities the Eye might have. You both decided it's time to find out more about the Eye and its origins. This library supposedly held the kingdom's entire knowledge of magic and the arcane arts, but you couldn't find a single mention of an ability like the Eye. Does the kingdom seriously lack knowledge about it? Or do we need to look somewhere else? Are you sure you can't tell me what you're researching? I've traveled around the world. I might have seen something like it. You entertain the thought for a moment, but you haven't known her for very long. The Eye of Horus is a supernatural ability that can't be detected by a spell compendium. You've always been wary about what the kingdom might do to you if they ever found out about it.
Sorry, it's not really something I can talk about.
Fine. She looks just like an OC that someone I used to follow drew. I wonder if I can find it. Because every time I look at her, I think this. And it's honestly so distracting. It's honestly so distracting. It's not Glass Heart. Oh, it's Force of Nature. She looks more like the earlier drawings before this person's style changed. So let me see if I can find any. Because, like, every time I look at her, I'm like, that looks like Vera. They got to Ingrid's Wikipedia already? That was fast. It's, like, not 100% now that I look at her, but listen, it's really close, and it's really bothering me for some reason. Alright, I'll show you this when, she pops up on screen again. Because it's probably easier to tell when they're, like, actually... when you can actually see her sprite at the same time. Everyone enjoying this smooth jazz? Hello, Ninji. Hey, Ninji, I have to ask you something. You've been to some Broadway shows and such. Have you ever been asked to put your phone in a locked pocket? Pouch? Have you ever been asked to put your phone in a pouch? Cool. I'm going to be, when I go see Gatsby in Boston. I found out it's a phone-free experience. And this is the first time they've ever had me lock my phone away. My phone and any electronic or smart devices. You can get an exemption if you use it for medical reasons or accessibility reasons, but you can't, it's like Yonder. They use it apparently at schools. I've never heard of this. This has never happened, and I know nothing about this show, which is probably because they lock away everyone's phones. So I was curious if anyone has had their phones not taken. You get to keep your phone. It just goes into a pouch thing. I was curious if it had gone into a pouch for anyone, because I was like, this is just straight up has never happened to me. I haven't even heard of it. I didn't know this was a thing that people were doing. I really didn't. I had no idea this was the thing we were doing. Alright. If I had to guess, I would say they're looking into supernatural phenomena. Huh? Okay, where is my art that I was just looking at? I kind of scrolled past it, because I was just mindlessly scrolling. God! I should have gone into archive. What am I doing? Wow, this person really just hasn't drawn her standing and looking forward in a hot second. other people have. But this blog is also super dead, so that would explain it. Here. This is by Taylor Draws, but this specific Tumblr that I'm on is FON Project. And she usually gets, this character usually has whiter hair, slightly whiter hair, which is why every time I look at her, I think of every time, every single time. It's unavoidable. It really is. But yeah, okay, cool. I'm glad other people see it, because every time I look at them, I'm like, oh, God, she looks just like Farah. I couldn't find the older piece I was really thinking of, but yeah, for sure. Okay. You and Celeste nearly jump out of your chairs. Focus. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. You were in our nightmares. Okay. You look over to where the voice came from. She appears to be a student at the academy. How long was she there? You didn't notice her presence at all. You also feel like she looks oddly familiar, as if she was in your nightmares.
I'm terribly sorry if I startled you, but I couldn't help but overhear your conversation.
As the girl approaches your table, you see another student frantically running after her. Her name is Eris. Oh my god. Whatever, right? Like, who? Okay, we get it. Eris, you can't just... I'm sorry.
Oh, it's fine, Wallace.
I'm sorry, but who are you two?
Sorry, that was incredibly rude of me. My name is Eris Ilmater.
Is it? Girl, fuck, is it? Is it Eris Ilmater? What a great name. What a subtle name. What a nice and subtle name, huh? Name, Eris Ilmater, occupation, student.
And this is Wallace Nightgrave. We're both students here.
Bye. Uh-huh. Not to be rude, but that was a private conversation. Just how much did you hear?
I wonder. Reading about the supernatural is actually a hobby of mine.
Also her arcane art is illusion.
I might be able to help you with your research, Mr. Cuthbert.
And what makes you so sure that is what we're researching?
Mr. Cuthbert has a bad habit of muttering to himself when he thinks. I assume that his research had something to do with the supernatural.
You feel a piercing side glance from Ms. Samora. You avoid eye contact with her. But anyways, do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Of course, I'd be happy to help.
Wait. Fine. I suppose it wouldn't hurt. Hey, girl. Hey, Eris. Hey, Eris. Eris, can you get the fuck out of my machine? Girl, can you go away? Can you leave us be? Can you let us do our thing? Can you let us do our thing without that? Without all that? Just remember to show some discretion, Tyrion. Right. Well, that was unsettling. Let's talk. So you two are students at the Imperial Academy?
Yes, I'm currently studying illusion magic. Illusions? That's the kind of magic that lets you turn invisible, right? Technically, yes. But few mages ever reach a high level high enough for that. I'm a bit embarrassed to admit that I'm not able to cast invisibility. That's still pretty cool. What about you, Wallace? Wallace has his own unique field of study.
It's probably not your place to pry, but the game did already tell you.
Everyone is talking about you two.
Really?
It's rare for the school to let any outsiders in.
That makes sense. This library isn't exactly open to the public. You were only able to get access to it because of Ms. Tamora's connection.
We only ever get occasional visits from the noble houses, so I was curious as to who was able to break this dull monotony.
Well, I'm a mercenary, but now I work as Tyrion's bodyguard.
mercenary?
After her trial, it turned out Celeste was more than capable of affording your services. However, Ms. Tamora still proposed a different arrangement. After indicting Garrick Pierce, you painted a large target on your back. With Celeste being a mercenary, Ms. Tamora decided to hire her as your bodyguard. She figured you would feel more comfortable around someone you were already friends with.
Anyways, I'm a defense attorney.
Defense attorney? My apologies, it's just not what I was expecting.
What's that supposed to mean? She's like, defense attorney? Kinda cringe.
Supernatural phenomena. I wonder why you would be researching such a thing.
Yeah, I want to know too.
I'm sorry, but I really can't say.
Regardless, there are many spells in this world. So, why were you so convinced that this phenomena wasn't produced by a spell?
What we're trying to look into doesn't seem to follow the classic rules of magic.
Oh, how so? Please tell me.
It was created by someone who's not a mage.
Oh, really? So you're saying that this was something created by a person?
The words came out of your mouth before you realized it. You send a small, apologetic look to Ms. Tamora.
That does remind me of a story.
A story? Is it a scary story? Yeah, our mom hired our new best friend. That's so awkward.
Mr. Cuthbert, do you know the legend about how the kingdom of Wyverngade?
I thought it was Wyverngrade. Have I been saying it wrong? Oops.
Of Wyverngade was created?
You mean the story about the ancient dragons?
The ancient what? Girl, I need you to pick up a history book. They did have, the last one was a slight typo. The last one was a typo.
Does Wyverngard have a story about ancient dragons?
It's only about one ancient dragon. The Church of Bahamut refers to him as the Scaled Lord.
Bahamut? Moot? It could be either.
I'm sure you've even heard of people mention him before. Legends say that the first mages were created centuries ago by him. At that time, our kingdom was caught in the middle of a brutal war. With no way to defend themselves, the kingdom was on the brink of destruction.
I can read.
Our people prayed to Bahamut, the god of dragons, for salvation.
Wait. You're getting a break from the jazz, Nikki. Oh shit. My internet. Uh-oh. Internet. Internet, please. Oh, fuck. Oh, no, this is a Dungeons and Dragons dragon. Bahamut is a child of the dragon god Io. He is also referred to as the god of dragons or the lord of the north wind. In many campaign settings, the draconic pantheon of gods consists of the leader Io, his children, I'm not saying any of these right, Asterian, Bahamut, Chronos, Epsis, Falzar, Sardior, and Tiamat. There you go. According to Zachariah al Kazwini. Yes. Cool. There we go. I possibly still pronounced it wrong, though. I don't know if it's going to show up if I look that up on Forvo. Oop. I'm like stalling to try to see if my internet will save itself. I hope you don't mind. It looks pretty shit right now, so I'm stalling frantically stalling. Come on, Twitch. Come on, Twitch. You can do it. Come on. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hold on a second. Okay, we might be okay now. I'm just, like, letting it, like, stabilize. Just seeing... Oh, it is on Forvo. If it wants to play. It's mine. I don't know what's going on. You good? Yeah. Oh, that was so quiet. Bahamut. You guys might want to reload your page real quick, because I don't know how behind Twitch is going to be now that it's fixed itself, because we had a moment where it was real bad. Also, at the same time, reloading might make it lag really bad for a second. So, I don't know. Up to you.
And almost as if to answer their prayers, Rathalion, the last Scaled Lord, appeared before them. The Scaled Lord bestowed the gift of magic on a band of heroes who were fighting on the front lines. With their magic, these heroes utterly overtook the kingdom's enemies and single-handedly won the war. It is said that these heroes went on to form the noble houses of today.
What a load of nonsense. That story is nothing but religious propaganda to prop up the noble houses.
Regardless, the significance of this legend is in the Scaled Lord himself.
Do you mean Rathalion?
Rathalion bestowed the power to become a mage on several individuals, and to this day that power can only be passed down genetically. Can you think of an arcane spell that can produce something like that?
No, I suppose not.
Rathalion must have had powers that weren't bound by the rules of the arcane arts. In other words, he could create supernatural phenomena without following the rules of magic.
Please, do you honestly expect us to believe a story like that? It's completely unrealistic.
As unrealistic as a non-mage using superpowers?
She has a point. It's a far-fetched theory, but it's honestly the closest thing you have to a lead right now.
Well, of course it would be you lot making all of this noise.
Oh, nope, I thought it was the headmaster. Of course it would be you lot making all this noise. Suddenly a woman who appears to be an instructor approaches you. She looks upon each of you with an equal amount of disdain.
Professor Bellwether.
Professor, name, Catherine Bellwether, occupation professor. She does look the same age as everyone, but I'm gonna blame anime face. That is Professor Bellwether to you. What did he call her before?
Didn't he just call you?
Okay, yeah. I'm no letting you rabble into our walls would lead to nothing but trouble. You've even started associating with our malcontents.
The headmaster gave us express permission to be here. If you have an issue with that, take it up with him.
I'll have you know that I was on my way to do just that. Wallace?
Yes?
How am I supposed to understand you when you're stuttering? She's also illusion, by the way.
Yes, Professor Bellwether.
Straighten out your uniform and fix that awful hair. You look like a street urchin. But I suppose it's unreasonable to expect anything more. And as for you... I'll be on my way. Eris, just leave it the fuck alone.
What a bitch.
Celeste?
Oh, come on, we were all thinking it. Anyways, with that out of the way, shall we begin?
My dehumidifier is full.
What?
Why do you keep detecting fear from Celeste?
Wallace, you finished this week's assignment, haven't you? Would you mind helping Celeste with her research?
I don't know.
Now that you mention it, I could really use some help finding
the specific spell formula. Sorry, Ninji.
You know your way around here, right, Wallace?
Okay. Don't worry, Ms. Tamora. I'll be more careful from now on.
Please do. I still have some business to take care of here, so I'll leave you all to it.
I don't know if that's a good idea. You spend the next few hours searching through the library's books with Eris. You hadn't thought to look into the ancient dragons, and the library had books about them in abundance. There was one problem, though.
There are a lot of myths and stories about the ancient dragons, but it's pretty difficult to tell fact from fiction with these accounts.
It can't be helped. The Church of Bahamut is the dominant religion of our kingdom. We have the bones of dragons displayed in museums, but those bones are But those bones are the only widely known evidence of the dragon's existence.
Except for Rathalion, possibly. I wonder if he's still alive, like you said.
I wouldn't be surprised. Despite everything, our kingdom's constitution still includes him in our government.
Wait, really?
As the savior of our kingdom, he and his kin were given an honorary position on our political hierarchy. The ancient dragon's authority technically rivals that of King Olivier.
Wow, I had no idea. How have I never heard of this before?
To be honest, that law is just a way to revere him and appease the church.
Well, Rathalion couldn't possibly be any worse than the nobility. So true. Oh, You're so stuck in your own thoughts that you accidentally bump into a bookshelf. The shelf begins to tip over, and you're able to catch it before it fully falls over. How rickety are these shelves? Get better shelves, oh my god. But not before several books fall out from their shelves. They hit the ground with a cacophony of thuds. Some students glance in your direction. Be quiet!
Sorry.
Be quiet! Eris begins giggling. She seems amused by what's happening. Hey, are you okay? Yeah, you're not doing a good job bodyguarding right now. I heard a loud... Whoa. Celeste stares at the pile of fallen books. What did you do?
Forget that. Just help me clean this up.
There's no need for that.
So true, Nikki.
Construct, I require assistance.
Acknowledged.
Duh! What? Upon Eris's command, one of the nearby suits of armor suddenly springs to life and begins walking toward you. The voice coming out of it sounds human, but it lacks emotion. Why does it sound familiar?
Wait, did you do that, Eris?
Yes, this is an arcane construct. It's a suit of armor that's animated using
artificery. Oh my god.
They're designed to carry out various tasks for the students.
Great. It's been added to our notes. Oh, it speaks with the voice of Catherine Bellwether. Arcane constructs are suits of armor that are animated using artificery. They can carry out simple tasks when ordered to. The one in the Imperial Academy speak using the voice of Catherine Bellwether. I didn't know that. These voice lines can only be changed or adjusted by the Academy headmaster. Every command given to a construct is stored in its command log. However, this command log must be cleared regularly. Great. Uh-oh, my... Everything is sticking to each other and I needed to lean back.
Really? I didn't know anything like that existed. They're still experimental, so they aren't available to the public yet. With that being said, Construct, please place those books back where they belong.
Acknowledged. On Eris's command, the construct begins quickly picking up the books. It moves with inhuman efficiency. After only a few seconds, all of the books are back on their shelves. Wow, so they do whatever they have. So they do whatever you tell them to?
Well, there are some limits to...
Construct, tell me I'm the fairest maiden you've ever seen. Command rejected. Ah, what?
I guess they're not allowed to lie.
You feel a sharp pain in your side as Celeste quickly jabs you.
The construct's voice is just a series of pre-recorded messages. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but it uses the voice of Professor Bellwether. Unfortunately, you can't make them say anything other than what's recorded. Only the headmaster can change the settings.
Artificery that can record audio. I've never seen anything like it.
But you just said they're experimental, right? Maybe if I keep asking it, it'll just give up and do it.
I would advise against that. Even if the commands are rejected, they're still stored in the construct's command logs. Anyway, we should probably get back to work.
Fine. You read more about the ancient dragons, but most of the stories read more like fables than actual historical accounts.
I don't feel like I'm making any progress.
Suddenly you hear a thunderous, low-pitched sound blare across the room. It sounds like a high-pitched horn, but with its volume turned up to unnatural levels.
What? Celeste, do you hear that?
Ugh, how can I not? What is that?
You didn't touch anything you weren't supposed to, right?
What? Of course not. It finally stopped.
Eris, wasn't that the lockdown system?
Yes, I believe so.
Lockdown system?
The Academy is outfitted with a large artificery system. In a state of emergency, it will erect magical barriers throughout the building. State of emergency? Should we be worried? Don't worry. The lockdown is designed to keep everyone safe. We're safe as long as the barriers are up.
But Ms. Tamura, she said she was going to do something on campus. I'm terribly sorry. You suddenly hear a disembodied voice echo through the library. It sounds like it's being projected magically.
It's the headmaster. He's using the intercom system. Students and faculty, please remain calm.
There's been a murder on the academy grounds.
What? Please stay where you are and wait for law enforcement to arrive.
Uh-oh.
Damn it, we have to get out of here.
I'm afraid that's not possible. The lockdown system protects and locks each room. We can't leave this room until it's deactivated.
Well, we won't know until we try.
You run to the entrance and begin frantically pulling on the door's handle. You try to put all your strength into prying it open, but it doesn't even budge. Tyrion, stop! Oh, whoa, have we seen this one before?
But, Ms. Tamura,
I know that you're worried about her, but there's already been a murder. We don't know where the attacker is, or if they're still armed. The best thing we can do right now is stay here and wait.
She's right.
Damn it.
Uh-oh. Please. Celeste's hand rests on her sword. Just pretend. Her eyes are carefully watching the entrance.
Wow, we've been here for hours and she still hasn't stopped watching the door.
It's because this angle makes her chin and her whole face much more narrow than it usually is. I think that's the main thing that makes her look like, but it's pretty extreme. I think it's maybe a little too narrow. She was also able to calm you down earlier. It's easy to forget sometimes, but she's always reliable when it really counts. Oh, she's back. Is she typically shorter? I'm gonna have to see that transition again. What?
Students and faculty, thank you for your patience. Law enforcement has secured the building. The lockdown has been lifted. However, please remain in the building until...
The headmaster is barely finished with his message before you're out the door. Tyrion! Hey, don't go off on your own! Uh-oh. You desperately run through the academy hallways. Uh-oh.
No. Ms. Tamura? Ms. Tamura, where are you?
You have no idea where you're even going anymore. You can feel your fear and anxiety rise with every passing moment. Where is she? Oh my god. She's alive, guys. Guys, mom is alive. Whoo! Our mom is still alive. Everyone, it's all okay. There was no reason to panic. Whew, it's fine. Oh, yeah, just put that... How did you get that so stuck in there? It's kind of impressive. Put that there. No, I meant on top of the... Yeah, if you can... And then just put those on... Great. I'm gonna need a different tablecloth, because I don't... That's also true. It's so big.
It was really heavy.
It was, I was like, why can't I fit this into anything? Because it's huge. My mom got me a tablecloth for the con this weekend. It was like, it was so big. It was, it's supposed to be for an 8-foot table, and it was for like 8 by 8 instead of like 8 by 2. It's so big. It's so heavy. Anyway, Cuthbert? What's wrong? Why are you shouting?
Ms. Tamura!
Calm down, you're hyperventilating.
I heard there was a murder and I've been looking all over for you.
And you were worried about me?
I just...
You hug Ms. Tamura tightly as you're overcome with emotion. She's usually not receptive to affection, but you don't care. You're just relieved that she's safe. Me too. Tyrion, there you are. And you're crying. I don't know how to deal with that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to worry you so much.
We heard the announcement. Do you know what happened, Ruby?
I do, but...
You see Ms. Tamura glance at Wallace for a brief moment.
For now, I think we should head to the foyer.
It's so big, Nikki. I'll have to like spread it out and send you guys a picture at some point because it is massive. Love this statue. You arrive at the foyer and see the room swarmed with a legion of familiar knights.
Is that the Inquisition? Don't tell me.
The headmaster mentioned there was a murder on campus. Someone used magic.
Hey, you there.
As you enter the foyer, Commander White notices you and begins marching in your direction, but his attention isn't focused on you.
Are you Wallace Nightgrave? Yes, but by the authority of the Wyvern Guard Crown,
I can't ever say that word. What? Gizzards? There's little ones right there. Oh. Why? If you go into my backpack, they're in one of the side zip pockets.
By the authority of the Wyvern Guard Crown, I'm placing you under arrest.
Hey, what are you doing?
You three? What the hell are you doing here?
Give them back to me afterward. Or are you looking at my washi? My washi wall?
You said he was under arrest? On what charges? This kid is charged with the murder of Catherine Bellwether. Oh!
Well... I guess that's who's dead.
What?
Wasn't that the professor you met in the library earlier? When would he have left?
Like hell you're arresting him. He was with us in the library for the entire morning. There's no way he could have murdered her.
Move aside, Celeste.
But...
Miss Moore is right. If Wallace is a suspect, then we can't stop the Inquisition from arresting him. No. Don't worry, Wallace. We'll get to the bottom of what happened.
Without a word, Wallace allows the Inquisition to drag him away.
My apologies. I'm going to go check on him.
This is terrible.
I still don't understand. Why would they suspect Wallace of all people?
I'm not sure myself. Unlike most magical homicides, the school is filled with plenty of mages. There has to be a long list of suspects.
Isn't there anything we can do?
I'm going to investigate what happened.
Cuthbert?
Yes?
He hasn't accepted you as his attorney yet. You don't even know if you'll be working this case.
But I know he's innocent. I can't just sit here and do nothing.
Well, I clearly can't stop you. But please remember that being an attorney is your job. It's not charity work. You need to get paid. Don't come crying to me if you run out of gold.
Right.
Anyways, I still have some business to take care of in the city. Will you two be okay handling this?
Yes, we'll take care of this.
I had to check her hand position and it is legit. You do this. But there's something about it that just maybe it's the sleeves. There's something about it that makes it feel a little off.
Good. I'll leave everything to you then.
Alright, let's go, Celeste.
Right.
Yeah, things Phoenix Wright needs to hear for real. It's been a few hours since Wallace was arrested. You and Celeste were with him during the lockdown, so the Inquisition had to take your statements. But the more they questioned you, the more you could tell they had doubts about your testimony. You will need to do more if you want to establish an alibi for Wallace.
Ugh, that took longer than I expected.
We've already lost quite a bit of time talking to the Inquisition, but we should be free to roam around now.
Where should we go first?
The crime scene sounds like a good start. We still need to figure out what actually happened.
Ruby said the body was found in Lecture Hall 2B. It's in the west wing of the school.
Alright. That seems like a good place to start. Hey, stop right there!
As you try to enter the classroom, you're stopped by one of the Inquisition Knights.
I'm the defense attorney for the accused, I said, lying. We have a right to investigate the crime scene. Yeah, from what I've heard, the kid doesn't have an attorney yet.
Right. You haven't been able to talk about You haven't been able to talk to Wallace about that yet.
It's quite all right. Let them in.
Lady Steelwind?
Do not call me that. While you work under me, you will address me as Prosecutor Steelwind.
Yeah, Prosecutor Steelwind?
His voice kept changing. It's fine. Not a real one.
What's that smell?
As you enter the classroom, you find yourself inhaling a sour and rancid odor. The stench is so overwhelming that your eyes begin to tear up.
Don't worry, you'll eventually get used to the smell.
What are you even doing here, Steelwind?
I'm here to coordinate the investigation.
You look around the crime scene. There isn't a single acquisition knight in the room.
Isn't that the Inquisition's job?
Due to the circumstances, I've decided to handle this case personally.
Well, since we've got you here, could we ask you some questions about what happened?
Can I assume that you're planning to defend the case? That would make you my opponent. What do I have to gain from helping you?
Right. Well, like, that's how, like, we're not, like, fighting. We're trying to find the truth, not, like, doing this.
That one was on Twitch, because for me, I'm fine. The backlog looks fine. So Twitch that's 100% on Twitch.
However, I would be willing to answer your questions, but only if you answer some of mine as well.
Oh, okay.
What could she possibly want to ask you?
Ms. McCoy, it's my understanding that you were adopted. Would you happen to know who your birth parents are?
Hey, isn't that too personal of a question?
You agreed to answer my questions, didn't you?
But I didn't think you meant...
It's fine, Tyrion. I'm fine with answering if it helps Wallace. I don't know who my birth parents are. I've never tried looking for them. I see. If I recall correctly, your spell compendium only contained one spell. Considering your upbringing, how did you learn Mage Blade in the first place? I bought a scroll from a merchant a few years ago. It had Mage Blade's spell formula on it. But I know more than one spell now. I actually just learned a few new spells today. I'm sorry, spells as in plural? How long did it take you to learn these spells? A few hours, I think? She learned multiple spell formulas within a few hours?
What was that just now?
I see. Well, I think that's all I need to ask for now.
Okay. She's sharing information about the investigation. For that? Why is she so interested in Celeste all of a sudden? I mean, I know it's like, only the nobility have powers, blah, blah, blah. But it could be. Actually, I cannot remember how old any of these characters are. Pause on that. Is she 16? Pause on that. I need to check their ages. There's like there's a pretty wide range of some children in here. Hold on. I can't take it anymore.
That smell is driving me crazy. What is that?
She's 18. She's 18. Potential Yuri is okay. We're all good. She's 18. I was like, fuck, she's not 16, is she? I was like, but like, why did I think she might have been 16? I don't know. Oh, it's Eris who's 16. Eris is 16. Got it. I figured out where the 16 came from.
From what I understand, there was a bit of an accident a few days ago. It happened during one of the classes that the headmaster was teaching. He misread the instructions for an alchemy experiment, and as a result, he accidentally produced this rancid-smelling vapor.
Vapor? It's not poisonous, is it?
Of course not. I wouldn't be standing here if it was. You could stand here, though. I don't care. It's just extremely unpleasant to the senses.
Foul classroom smell. Weeks ago, the headmaster performed an alchemy experiment incorrectly in Lecture Hall 2B. The resulting chemical reaction produced a rancid yet harmless vapor that still lingers in the room. When I was in 6th grade, somebody left food in their locker, I believe over break. Like summer, like February vacation or something, maybe. And it smelled so bad in that hallway. We had old classic hallways where like different sections had double doors that you could close, but they were always left open. And there were the English classrooms, which were right across from each other, had this really small part of that hallway where it was basically just those two rooms, and then you could close both double doors on either side. So the English teachers closed those doors and then put a desk in the middle of the hallway and got one of those like air fresheners where you like twist to the top and there's like scent gel inside, and the teacher literally, she twisted it. You're only supposed to like crack it open a little bit. She literally pulled it up like 2 or 3 inches and just left it in the hallway. And it was so disgusting. The janitors had to like figure out whose locker it was. I mean, you could tell. And just like cut the lock off because they were like, I think maybe the kid wasn't there that day or something because they just cut the lock off, which like they were like, we gotta clean this shit out. I'm sorry to this kid, but we have to. It was like, I think there was like milk in there. I think there was like milk and something else, and it was so bad. It was so bad. Very bad. So I can't imagine. It's really wild to think of this magic school having this rancid smell, and they're just like, guess we'll deal with it. It's been weeks. It's been weeks since this nasty smell happened, but we're just gonna live in it.
Do you know what happened here, Steelwind?
Well, it all began when the City Watch received a call from the Academy. Supposedly, there was an attack on campus grounds and the entire building was put on lockdown. The City Watch set up a parameter around the building while they waited for the system to deactivate.
What? Couldn't the Academy have let them in once the scene was secure?
They might need some.
I'm not sure about the specifics, but supposedly the lockdown can't be shut down manually. You'll have to ask one of the Academy's admins if you want to know more. Anyways, you two were also present during the lockdown, am I correct? Did either of you see anything suspicious? No, but we actually met the professor that morning. She was, still alive then? I see. That does match with the accounts from our other witnesses. Do you have any idea where she went after she left the library?
The headmaster gave us express permission to be here,
She said she was going to meet with the headmaster.
He also mentioned that when I questioned him. She attended the meeting as planned.
If the headmaster met with Bellwether, you'll probably want to speak with him next.
She must have found her way into this classroom afterward.
Would you happen to have a map of the Academy?
I do. I have extra copies if you'd like one.
What is it?
There's only one direct path from the headmaster's office to this lecture hall. But I wonder if she took any detours.
Ooh, coffee ice cream. I'm gonna get ice cream after this. It's so hot. Imperial map. Okay, what do we have? Okay, library, headmaster, kitchen, to be stored. Okay. It's so fucking hot. It's so hot. My mom went like 15 minutes over, like to a different town briefly this afternoon, for something, and it was 90 degrees here, and the town she was in, it dropped to 75, and then she came back and it just like ticked up. We were hoping to get some rain. We heard thunder, but no rain. Okay, these two are both 16. It's so hot. Yeah.
Do you know how the body was discovered?
2 members of the kitchen staff spotted her collapsed in this classroom, and they reported the situation to the campus admin while they attempted to save her life. But it was too late. The professor had already passed away by the time any healers arrived.
Those 2 staff members, who were they?
I believe their names were Valentina and Valerie Yanis. They're apparently sisters. Orem was the one who collected their statements.
Did he notice anything off about their behavior?
From what he said, they had a few quirks, but nothing too suspicious.
Quirks?
He told me that they were running and spinning around him during questioning.
What does that mean?
I have no idea. Perhaps they were still on edge after finding their coworker murdered.
You'll definitely want to speak with those staff members. Who discovered the body?
We've already told the acquisition this, but Wallace was with us the entire time. He couldn't have committed the murder.
Yeah, he has a perfect alibi. Strong, maybe, but his alibi is far from perfect. Mrs. McCoy herself told us that. There was a small period of time where she wasn't with him.
What?
Right. It was when I came to check on you after you knocked over that shelf. I got a little lost on my way back to Wallace. But still, we only lost each other for a few minutes. That may be, but unless his alibi is airtight, the evidence in this room proves that it was him.
What do you mean?
It will be easier to explain once you examine it yourself. So how about you fucking examine it? Oh, Tyrion! I almost forgot! Since this is our first official case together, I wanted to show you something I learned.
Okay, what is it?
Repario Arcanum.
Oh my god, voice acting.
What was that?
That is the incantation for the detect magic spell.
Oh my god, that's so cool. That's fun. That is indeed a very fun fact. Good for Adriosaurus. I don't know how to say that. But that's super cool. Good for them.
Detect magic? Wait, does that mean...
Yep, we can see magic traces while we're examining crime scenes now.
Cool. Your bodyguard Celeste can now cast Detect Magic spell. While examining a location, press Detect Magic button to make magical traces visible. If there are any magical traces at your location, you'll see a colored overlay. Let's look at this first.
This must be where the students sit during lectures.
Ugh, can't imagine sitting in one place all day.
Have you never attended a school before?
No, we never had a proper school in Cornhaven. I mainly got my education from books about my parents brought from traveling merchants.
I murdered that sentence. That was rough.
What about you?
I used to attend a public school in my hometown, but after Ms. Tamora adopted me, she handled my education personally.
Wait, why'd you look sad about that? No, Arya.
I can't believe the professor is dead. We just saw her this morning.
There's a chalk outline where her body was. It appears that most of this blood came from her abdomen. Is that where the fatal wound was? There's a lot of blood in this puddle, but there's no trail leading to it. There aren't any magical traces anywhere else in this room, even though we haven't checked that yet. I doubt the murderer used magic to clean it.
Does that mean the murderer attacked her in this room?
Maybe, but it's hard to say for certain.
Bloodstain under the body. Okay. Let's...
Prepario Arcanum. What?
What's wrong?
There's a trace of necromancy on the body.
Necromancy?
Isn't necromancy the type of magic that creates undead? She's not just gonna get up and walk away, right? We're honestly not sure. That's part of the reason why I've stationed myself here.
But what does that have to do with Wallace?
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. I saw stuff on the Steam about Indiegogo, but I didn't actually read them because I was late to starting stream. So, interesting.
Oh, you didn't know? Wallace Nightgrave is necromancer. He's a what? We believe that he drained her life force completely using a necromancy spell. That's why there are no visible wounds. Here is the autopsy report. It will tell you everything that you need to know.
Oh, nice. Okay, well that's something fun to look forward to then. Okay, died at 2:01 p.m. Body shows no signs of cuts or bruising. The alchemist report has verified that death was not caused by potion or disease. Poison or disease. Body shows traces of necromancy and illusion magic. Cause of death is not apparent, but very likely caused by necromancy magic.
But in the modern day, even the Inquisition doesn't commonly deal with necromancy. They're all on edge about what other spells he might have used. So I'm here to make sure nothing unholy happens to the body.
You can't believe it. You've heard stories of necromancers before, but why would Wallace be studying something like that?
But even if Wallace is a necromancer, aren't there plenty of other mages who can cast necromancy spells? This is an academy for mages after all.
No, there are no laws against it, but the knowledge required to learn necromancy is heavily controlled. No one in their right mind would dare teach necromancy beyond basic healing magic. Frankly, I'm surprised that even one student at this school was allowed to learn it. I can see why. And because of this specific piece of evidence, we know that he's the murderer, but it's still too convenient.
That's the first time you've seen a thought from Steelwind. Not true. Normally you can only see thoughts from people who are stressed or excited. Yet this isn't true. We saw one earlier. You doubt that Miss Steelwind is exciting, so something is causing her to be stressed?
Is there something you're not telling us, Steelwind? Because something tells me that this case isn't as straightforward as you claim it is.
If you truly believe that, then why don't you prove it?
I could never make a video game except for, in my head, there is a fucking amazing Dracula game. I just want you all to know that. I firmly believe that the best adaptation you could ever make for Dracula is a video game. And I consider myself a scholar of Dracula as someone who has written a lot about Dracula. Listen, our Christoph Gavin game idea was so good. It was so good. It was a little bit of a quarantine-induced haze for all of us, but I think Dracula video game is good because Dracula really benefits from the way it switches POVs. So I always think that the most interesting switch for me would, it's something that like other stories have a little bit of a hard time doing for some reason, and I think part of that is just Dracula adaptations tend to not be very faithful to the book. So I think it would be really, really fun to start out and you're playing as Jonathan Harker. So you're playing as Jonathan Harker, you're in a horror game. And then you're in like the middle of like a stealth mission or something, and then it cuts away, and now you're doing slice of life with Mina. You understand? Like, I just think it's a fun, like, now you're doing slice of life, you don't know what happened to Jonathan, even if you've read the book, it's like a little bit like, ugh, because you were in the moment with him, and you don't know if your character died. And now for a little bit with Mina, you're playing slice of life, and I think that's fun. So, I think that's fun. I think there should be a part of the game where you have to shoot at bats, because that's a hilarious scene. You gotta shoot at bats. I think there's a lot of potential for making like a pretty book accurate adaptation of Dracula as a video game. So that's my pitch. If anyone wants to reach out to me and help me make a video game, my email is everywhere.
If you truly believe that, then why don't you prove it?
The eye can't see any more thoughts from her. She must be subconsciously guarding her mind now, but she's clearly hiding something.
There's a trace of illusion magic next to the body. We believe the suspect donned an illusory disguise immediately after murdering the victim. Using his disguise, he discreetly made his way back to the library unnoticed. Assuming that Wallace isn't the murderer, the real killer must have used a similar disguise, which means that no one would have seen them leave this classroom. It'll be harder to find any witnesses that saw the perpetrator.
Oops, sorry, I hit my mic. If there's anything about me, it's that I am going to hit my mic.
The lecture hall has a window with a view.
I feel like I'd just stare outside all day if I had to attend class here.
You're not much of a student, are you?
Ugh, I just can't spend hours sitting in one place. I need to move around.
She was pretty antsy while you were studying in the library earlier. She has ADHD.
How have you learned so many spells if you are so distractible?
Oh!
I don't know, I just learned the spell formula and cast stuff. I see. Is that not normal?
Girl, don't worry about it.
Up. It's the painting of some sort of musician. There's some text written below it. Dr. Nicholas Gosu, inventor of arcane engine. His work revolutionized trade and travel across the seas. He was well known for not discriminating between the common folk and the nobility, judging his assistants based purely on their merit. When he wasn't conducting research within the Imperial Academy, he was known to conduct symphonies for the king in his free time. Looks like he was a man of many talents.
Oh, they have books here too.
They appear to be textbooks about alchemy.
Ugh, lame. Great. Small ass kitchen. Small kitchen.
Hello, is anyone there?
Looks like there's no one here right now. Maybe we should check somewhere else.
You follow the map that Steelwind gave you, and you arrive at the headmaster's office. Okay, you know what? That makes sense, because I was curious, because the fact that you can click on all these pictures without, that aren't, like, the most, like they're just kind of world-building ones. I was curious if that was some kind of backer reward. And you arrive at the headmaster's office. Ooh.
Old man. Oh, hello there. I wasn't expecting guests today. Sorry for coming unannounced. You must be... My name is Theodore Redmond. I'm the headmaster of the Wyvern Guard Imperial Academy.
Well, he's got illusion magic, so instant suspicion. The axolotl one was so cute.
And judging from your appearance, you must be the protege of Ruby Tamora.
My appearance of wearing a suit?
To what do I owe the pleasure?
They must be here to investigate the murder.
What are you doing here?
Wait, Eris? I thought you went to see Wallace.
Unfortunately, the Inquisition is questioning him right now. They aren't allowing visitors. He must be so scared right now. I hope he's okay.
Did I just... Okay, no, that's my drink, just like condensation. I was like, did I just dump drink all over my leg? Right. She had the same experience not too long ago.
If there's anything I can do to help, please let me know.
Yes, I would love to talk.
This is terrible. To think that one of my prized students would be accused of murder. We heard your voice on the intercom when the lockdown happened. Are you the one who triggered it? Yes, I activated it when I received a call from one of the staff. They reported that Professor Bellwether had been attacked. How does the lockdown system work? It's an artificery network that covers the entire academy. In the event of an emergency, I can activate it using this stone.
The headmaster pulls out a glowing stone from his desk. You can hear the hum of magical energy emanating from it. What is Lucia? Oh, this is so sad, Nikki. How have we not told you about Lucia?
Once activated, the system creates magical barriers throughout the building. It's designed to contain and protect each room in the building. Could a powerful mage breach any of these barriers?
Oh, wait.
Could a powerful mage breach any of the barriers? I doubt it. The barriers can withstand a great amount of force. They even block mages from teleporting through them. And once activated, even I can't turn it off for an hour.
Okay. Oh! What'd I hit?
What can you tell me about Wallace? Earlier you said he was one of your prized students. I just need to understand. Why did the prosecutors say he was a necromancer? Because technically he is one.
What? Why would he study something like that?
Necromancy is probably one of the most dangerous and most scrutinized schools of magic. Its image has been long tainted by stories of dark wizards raising armies of the undead. However, it does not just control the faces of death, the forces of death, it also controls the forces of life. Forces of life? The truth is that healing magic is also classified as necromancy. Most healers don't care to admit it because of the stigma it has, but that's why Wallace is studying it. He wants to become a doctor.
But there are plenty of mages who know healing magic. Why is Wallace being singled out?
For years he's been studying necromancy beyond basic healing magic. He believes that high-level necromancy could revolutionize modern medicine.
What is Faces of Death? Because that does sound familiar. I don't remember. I don't know why I think I know this name. None of this sounds familiar to me.
Unfortunately, many among the faculty don't see it that way.
Ah, got it.
Wallace doesn't hail from a noble house. He's a mage that was born among the common folk.
He's like me.
Many of the faculty fear he'll use his knowledge to raise armies of the undead, just like the necromancers of old. The Imperial Academy isn't even permitted to teach it to students beyond basic healing magic. Then why did you allow him to study it? After everything that has happened to him, I made an exception. Everything that has happened to him, I'm not at liberty to say more. You'll have to ask him if you wish to know more.
Okay.
If you plan on defending Wallace, you'll need a spell compendium, am I correct?
Yes, having a client's compendium is instrumental to acquitting them.
You may find that a bit difficult. You see, after a certain incident, he destroyed his compendium.
What? Why would he do that? Doesn't he need that to use magic?
A spell compendium is a device mages use to keep track of what spells they can cast. It's really convenient for remembering the formulas and incantations of your spells. But it's not actually, required to use magic. You can kind of just do whatever. I thought of destroying mine a long time ago, but they're really expensive. Luckily, I have an unattuned spell compendium right here. Don't question that. I'd be more than happy to give it to you if it helps Wallace.
Oh, thanks.
Wallace just needs to maintain physical contact with it for 10 minutes. After that, the compendium will attune to his magic. Just make sure you don't let any other mage like Celeste hold it. Once it attunes to a mage, no one else can use it.
Cool. That's fun.
Wait, but then how did... Wonderful. I just hope you can persuade Wallace to attune it.
Eris, girl, leave it alone! Leave it alone! Luna, like the K-pop group?
What can you tell me about Catherine Bellwether?
Wow, that's a whole mess of emotions.
She was rather unpleasant to work with. Can you think of any enemies she might have had?
You might as well list everyone who attended this school.
Eris.
It's best to be blunt with these sort of things. As you saw yesterday, she has a pretty abrasive...
Yesterday?
As you saw earlier, she had a pretty abrasive attitude toward the students. Many people in this school did not care for her.
Maybe she wasn't the nicest person, but would that really be enough to motivate someone to murder her?
She'd often target and harass students, especially those who were from the common folk. She even made her a habit of expelling those students for minor infractions. For commerce, magic can be our ticket out of poverty. Can't imagine how it'd feel to have that opportunity unfairly taken from you. She put so much pressure on those students. Some of them even left the academy of their own volition. They couldn't handle her constant verbal abuse.
Sounds like someone shouldn't have been a teacher.
Even then, would that really be enough to enough motive to commit murder?
Whose sprite is this? Who has a sprite like this? I feel like it's a few. This is one of my favorites in the game, and one of the only pieces of licensed placeholder tracks that they kept. Oh, interesting.
The human psyche is a fragile thing. It's astounding what someone might do when pushed far enough.
She looks directly at Tyrion.
What about her relationship with the faculty? In some cases, it was worse than it was with the students.
Then why was she still a teacher?
She'd often treat the staff like her personal servants.
Then why didn't you fire her?
I've received many complaints from them about her behavior.
Okay, and do something. Sorry if this sounds rude, but why didn't you just fire her if she was such a big problem? Me and Celeste are the same person.
She used her position to curry favor with the noble houses over the years. As you can imagine, the Academy's board is controlled by the nobility. If I ever tried to remove her, they would probably support her over me.
Okay. I guess fair enough.
I heard you had a meeting scheduled with Professor Bellwether this morning. What time was this, and when did the meeting end? Our meeting was scheduled for noon. She arrived on time, and our meeting lasted until 1 p.m. Did anything seem off about her to you? No, she seemed to be her usual self.
You detect a trace of fear. Or is it nervousness?
If you don't mind me asking, what was the purpose of your meeting? We met to discuss routine administrative matters. Despite our personal disagreements, we need to stay civil when discussing our personal affairs.
Wow, that was incorrect. When discussing professional affairs. That's the opposite of what I said.
But to be perfectly honest, it did always feel like I was treading on eggshells when speaking with her. But you were her superior, weren't you? Didn't she respect your authority? We had many arguments about how I was managing the academy. She was very vocal about her distaste for the common folk students. She was difficult to say the least.
Okay, great.
Pity.
Hello? Is anyone there?
Be right there.
Oh, hi. Sorry, but the cafeteria is closed right now.
Actually, we're here to investigate the murder. We heard that 2 members of the kitchen staff discovered the body.
Oh, that would be me. I'm Valentina Iannis.
Valentina Iannis, kitchen staff.
How about the other person? Do you know where they are right now?
That'd be my sister Valerie. but I think she's somewhere else on campus right now. If you're with those knights, we've already told them everything we know.
She is 19.
Actually, we're investigating separately from them. I wanted to ask you some questions about what you saw.
Sure. I'm going to have to remember those details again.
To start, can you tell us how you and your sister discovered the body?
Right. My sister and I were walking in the hallway from the kitchen to the west exit. We spotted the professor in a nearby classroom. She was lying on the floor and bleeding. I used an emergency communication device to call for help. While I was doing that, my sister tried to wake her up.
That would imply that Valerie thought she could be resuscitated. Did she know if the professor was still alive or not?
We're not sure, but she wasn't responding at all.
Oh, I did not know. Oh, well we did not get that one. I actually haven't presented my badge to, like, anyone, which maybe I should have been doing.
She wasn't breathing and she didn't have a pulse.
What do you know about the suspect in this case? His name was Wallace Nightgrave. He's a student here.
He's that scary kid, right? The one that raises undead?
Those are just rumors. He would never do something like that.
But he studies necromancy, right?
Have you ever actually met him?
No, but I've heard the rumors. He's always hanging around the cemetery.
Listen, I actually don't present my badge that often when I play Ace Attorney either. I just don't. I don't know why. It's I guess maybe because I've seen everyone else do it, so I'm just like, I don't need to do this. So I really don't. I think I maybe presented it once when I played Versus. I don't think Ronnie, maybe Ronnie and I have presented it once in our AA4 playthrough. I never have the urge to present my badge. I'm sorry for failing everyone.
I'm sure he's just biding his time, waiting for his chance to raise an army.
It can't be helped that people think of him that way, but you can't help but be a little annoyed on his behalf. I'm standing, so if anything changes, it's because I'm standing now, because it's too hot to be sitting.
What can you tell me about Catherine Bellwether?
I really gotta get her voice down, since I'm gonna have to do it probably a few bit much. Sorry. Night of Noises. Yet another set of complicated emotions.
Well, I guess there's no point in hiding it anymore. She was a horrible person. She was really terrible to all of us.
By all of us, do you mean the Academy staff?
Yeah, she always treated us like her personal servants. Sometimes she'd make messes on purpose just so she could order us to clean it up. This probably sounds terrible, but I'm sure a lot of people are glad that she's gone. I just hope we can still keep our jobs.
Interesting. Now, why would she be worried about that?
Did you ever feel like your job was at risk because of Bellwether?
I'm gonna sneeze. Great.
Yes, actually, she was actually planning to fire all of the staff.
All the staff? Was she allowed to do that? That can't be true, can it? The Academy needs staff to function.
I'm not sure about the details. That's just what Jan told us.
Who's Jan?
He's one of the
Oh, do they maybe mean Jan?
He's one of the Academy's custodians. You can probably find him cleaning the halls if you look around.
They do have janitors. Do you want to see my badge?
What can you tell me about this?
Sorry, what the fuck is this? I feel like the more we find out about Bellwether, the worse she looks.
Oh, maybe.
It makes me wonder if her death was really such a bad thing.
Regardless of the type of person she was, no one deserves to be murdered in cold blood. And now Wallace is being falsely charged for it. Blip, 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 blip.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Where should we go next?
2 members of the kitchen...
Okay, we already did that. Maybe let's go to the barracks. Ah, got it. You look around the barracks dungeon cells, but you don't see Wallace anywhere.
The Inquisition is probably still questioning him. We should come back later.
Okay, good. We didn't go to the hallway, that's where we needed to go, maybe? Or not. Did I not do everything with her? Maybe I need to investigate more? Okay. I was hoping I could ask about her weird little situation.
Celeste, this room was close to the crime scene. Could you cast Detect Magic and scan for magical traces?
Why did I say magic like that?
Sure. Did he just say scan for magical traces? Oh, I'll just get out of your way then. Wow, she just bolted out of the room.
Yeah, not suspicious. At all. What was that about? Anyway.
Repario Arcanum.
Okay.
Several commonly used ingredients close to the cooking area. There's a large cooking station here. They must prepare meals in bulk here.
It's not big. This isn't big. This is a very small kitchen.
There's a rack of cooking implements hanging from the wall.
Valentina must use these to cook for the students.
It's a set of pots for cooking soups and the like.
Also small pots if you're feeding a bunch of students.
They must serve students meals from these plates. Not a lot of plates. It's a shame they had to close the kitchen due to the investigation. Oh, it's a plate of bread. They probably serve these as sides to the entrees.
Don't get any ideas, Tyrion.
What?
Remember when we went to that fancy restaurant? You just kept ordering breadsticks and butter?
The bread is free. I might as well take advantage of it.
You know eating that many carbs isn't good for you.
Yeah. It's a barrel full of some sort of drink.
I wonder.
It's probably not lotus juice, Celeste.
Alright, I love the free bread.
Up. It's a statue. There's some writing on the platform it's on. Gillian Chemnitz, the inventor of early artificery.
So this is the guy who invented it. Who'd have thought that we could use machines to harness magical energy?
Artificery is truly a marvelous invention. With it, anyone can utilize the convenience of magic without having noble blood.
Although the expense of owning artificery presents their own barrier.
But that expression on his statue kind of looks like he doesn't want to be here, even though his statue is huge.
He does give off that attitude, doesn't he? Okay, great. We just got those.
Repario Arcanum.
Great. Let's just do that.
Repario Arcanum.
It's a painting of someone. He looks like some sort of professor. That's Professor Lucas Gilbert. He was an instructor here many decades ago. He was well beloved by the students here, and he was quite accomplished scholar. This was all despite him lacking the ability to use magic.
He studied magic without actually being able to use it?
Yes, he was quite remarkable. Unfortunately, we lost him to illness very early in his life.
Okay, great.
There's a fireplace with some burning wood. It looks pretty cozy, except for the fact that I think I'm dying. It's a small table for guests. Is that wine?
I can't believe you don't remember Zach's name. I think it's with a CH, because it's Zacharias.
No, actually, it's just apple juice. Most of my guests are students after all.
Okay.
There's a window with a view of a garden. The headmaster has a nice view from up here. Okay. Steelwind told us you had a bit of a mishap in Lecture Hall 2B. Yes. I was filling in for the Academy instructor when I accidentally misread the instructions she left. Hello. It's so hot.
What? Okay.
I'm quite embarrassed to admit that my old age is catching up with me.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what we're doing. Oh,
It's a terrible thing that happened. To think someone would commit murder within the Academy.
Hotwired Gaming, every single, week I think about how it would be how you could fix Dual Destinies with, it wouldn't be perfect, but there are definitely a few things you could do to make it, a much, much tighter story. And I keep saying this, and I know people don't like to hear it. I genuinely think one way you could tighten it up is just have Clay be an actual character that Apollo talks about, because that immediately ties in, the space station stuff to, everything else. And then it ties in, with Athena. It's just, it makes more sense because it comes out of nowhere. And if they really needed Apollo out of a few cases because they want to focus on Athena, it's very easy for him to be like, my friend is leaving for space, so I'm going to spend some time with my friend who is prepping to leave for space. I don't know why I'm asking if you explain my vision, because I've talked with a few of you about it a lot, but it would ground Apollo's breakdown, where he goes full anime. It would ground Apollo's anime breakdown over losing Clay in reality, because we don't know anything about this dude, so it's very hard to take Apollo's grief seriously, which is a terrible way to word that, but it's hard to take his grief that seriously when it comes across kind of goofy, because we've never heard of this man before he's murdered. Mia's in one case before she dies, and you're still no, Mia! I feel like that could have tightened some things up a little bit. It could have foreshadowed Simon and Athena stuff a little bit more. I just think that it's a very easy way, and here's the thing, it doesn't fix everything. There's still a lot I would like to change in Dual Destinies, but I think it could just tighten some stuff up a little bit and really make it a smoother storytelling experience without actually me being in there so what if we just get rid of Turnabout Academy? Me just having Clay mentioned a few more times over and over and over again is that's my surface level fix for this game. My surface level fix for that game is just Clay mentioned a few more times, and maybe he shows up once, and Athena's kind of weird about it. And I think that I have a vision, and I don't know why Capcom didn't see it with me before I knew about Ace Attorney. Listen, I have thoughts, I have opinions. I have thoughts and opinions. If there's things about me, thoughts and opinions, always.
To think that someone would commit murder within the Academy, using necromancy, no less. Yes, it's all a lot to take in.
Well, that gave me nothing. Okay, okay, we have to figure out what we're doing. Exactly. Thought and opinion. Oh! You spot Valentina again. She's speaking to someone in a blue-collar uniform. Could he be the custodian she mentioned? Do we think it's Jan or Jan? Mostly because I know someone named Jan, so saying Jan is weird.
Jan, where have you been? You still haven't fixed the plumbing and the kitchen sinks.
Just someone just died.
John Hughes. Jan Hughes. Jan Hughes. Hughes? Hugh? If there's a pun there, let me know.
Can't we take the day off for once?
You're causing trouble for me and Valentina. Please be reasonable.
Wait. Why is Valentina suddenly speaking in the third person?
Oh, hello. Valentina? Oh, my apologies. I see why you're confused. I'm not Valentina. I'm her sister, Valerie.
Valerie.
Are you trying to trick us or something? You look exactly the same.
You remember reading of something like this before.
You two are identical twins, aren't you?
I love that. You remember reading about something like this before. I guess I knew of quite a few twins growing up, so.
You're both genetically identical to each other.
Yes, we are.
Wait,
That means that she was the one who discovered the body alongside Valentina.
since we have you here, do you mind if I ask you some... Wow. Since we have you here, do you mind if I ask you some questions about what happened?
I'm terribly sorry, but I've already spent a lot of time looking for Jen here. I'm really behind on my work, but Jen was also nearby when we discovered the body. I'm sure he can answer your questions.
Before you have a chance to object, Valerie walks away quickly.
Wait.
Do you want me to go after her? I'm pretty sure I can catch up with her. I run really fast.
No, we don't want to scare those two more than we already have.
Anyways, Valeria, right? Valeria said that Jan was around when the murder happened. Maybe he saw something. Jan Hughes, occupation custodian.
Jan, was it? Do you mind if we ask you some questions about what happened? Oh, really? Well, whatever. At least I have an excuse to take a break now. So, Jan, are you part of the staff here? Yep, I'm a janitor. I clean, I do odd jobs here and there.
Well, apparently that's all he has to say about that. Did they maybe make a typo from for Valeria or before? Because I was like struggling with how her name was said, but now it's Valerie, and I know how to say Valerie. I wonder if there was maybe a typo.
Valerie mentioned that you were close to Lecture Hall 2B before they found Bellwether. What were you doing when the twins discovered the body? I was cleaning the halls. Bellwether knocked over a vase, and there were shards and dirt everywhere. Wait, you saw the professor before the twins arrived? Yeah, like I said, she broke the vase right in this hallway. It was probably 20 to 30 minutes before the twins found the body. You might have been the last person to see her alive. Did you see where she went after breaking the vase? Yeah, I think she went into that room over there.
Jan points to the lecture hall that Bellworth was found in.
Did you see anyone else enter the lecture hall? I'm honestly not sure. I was more worried about cleaning the mess she made. Well, did you notice anything off about her? She was in a pretty bad mood. But honestly, that's pretty normal for her. She's making me yawn! She was walking real slow. I didn't notice her at first, and she basically shoved me out of her way. After that, she knocked over that vase.
So she was already dead. I think she was already dead.
I didn't even say anything after that, but she still yelled at me to be quiet. Did you see where she went after that? Not really, but the only thing in that direction is Lecture Hall 2B.
Maybe she wasn't already dead.
I can't imagine her going anywhere else.
Be quiet. I wonder if that's something maybe already programmed into the... I don't know yet.
What can you tell me about Catherine Bellwether? I've heard that she had a pretty bad relationship with the staff. She had a bad relationship with just about everyone. Students, the other teachers, can't think of that many people who actually did get along with her. I'm sure you had your own share of bad experiences with her. Yeah, she'd always yell at me when I was taking too long to get a job done. I hate to say it, but things are a lot more peaceful around here without her.
That's blunt, to say the least. But you can't exactly blame him for thinking that. Okay.
Valentina mentioned something interesting. Did you tell her that Bellwether was going to fire the Academy staff? Yeah, I remember that. What made you think she was going to do something like that? You know those arcane constructs in the library? Bellwether was the one that ordered them.
Oh yeah, they're so cool.
Well, a few weeks ago, I overheard a meeting she was having with the headmaster. From what I heard, she was planning to order more constructs that entirely replace the staff.
Oh.
Well, I'm sure the headmaster rejected her proposal. I don't know. From the way it was talking, it sounded like he didn't have a say in the matter. Oh, God. But only the headmaster would have the authority to fire the staff. Why would she... Why would she be that confident? Don't know. All I know is that she hated having common folk in the schools, even among the staff. She was really miffed that he was hiring common folk from the community center. Are you aware of the foul smell in Lecture Hall 2B? Yeah. Luckily, Arya isn't letting anyone in that lecture hall till the investigation's over, but I'll probably have to get to it eventually. Ugh, alchemical messes are always a pain to clean up. I'm not looking forward to that. I wonder if Arya can help me out like she used to. Wait, do you personally know Prosecutor Steelwind? She studied here a few years ago. She'd always help me out using her magic. I miss that.
Aw, that's nice of her.
Ugh, I just really hope we don't lose our jobs to those constructs. Well, if there's any silver lining to Bellwether's death, it's that she can't carry out her plan. Damn, that's kind of heartless, man. Well, I do want to catch the real murderer. I don't have much pity for people who abuse positions of power. Well, I can't blame you. I'm sure many people feel the same.
Alright, let's... Okay. You are so fine. Hotwired Gaming, we do this all the time. So you are so okay. Oh, sorry. I'm just checking things.
Ah, it's over. My life is over. Wallace? Who are you? What do you want?
Well, it's Celeste and Tyrion. We spent like 7 hours together today.
What about...
From the library, remember?
Oh, right.
How are you doing?
Apparently not well.
Please tell me you're gonna get me out of here. I keep telling them I didn't do it. They still won't let me go. I'm sorry, Wallace, but they found traces of necromancy magic on the body. And because of that, they're going to push your case to trial. What? Are they gonna execute me? This can't be happening. I can feel these walls closing in. I can't breathe. Please calm down. We know that you're innocent. With that said, would you let me represent you in court? Oh, right. You said you were a lawyer? But I don't really have any money to pay you with. Don't worry about that. I'll just, maybe I'll just make Celeste pay me again. Celeste can just pay me again. For now, let's just focus on getting you acquitted. What? Do they seriously want to help me? No, they want something from me, but... Well, I guess it doesn't matter anyways. It's not like I have anything else to lose.
That's not exactly the reaction you were expecting, but at least he's cooperating. Ugh. Yeah, exactly. She is just the Will Powers. That is like the funniest headcanon to me, and I have it, and I agree with it because it's hilarious that, like, Will is like the only one who is paying Phoenix.
I don't understand. I was with you at the library the entire time. But why do they still think I'm the murderer? It makes no sense unless... You told the Inquisition, right? Did you tell them that I'm innocent? Did they frame me? We did, but as we said before, there are traces of necromancy on the body. And with the state of the body, they believe that she was murdered with a necromancy spell. Apparently, that makes you their prime suspect. I see.
To be fair, I was thinking about, like, the first game. I wasn't thinking about, like, the other ones. I'm sure other characters paid, but in the first game, there's kind of, it's like, Larry's not paying. Maya doesn't have money. It's 1, 2. What is 3? Turn clock. Sister is, 3 is Will. 4 is Edgeworth. 5 is, who originally gets accused in that one? Oh my god. Why, the heat is getting to me. I'm like running through that. Someone like save me from my own embarrassment. Lana? Is it Lana? Okay. I was gonna say it was Lana, but then my mind was like, no, it's not Lana. She comes in later. I don't know why I was just like, yeah, it's not Lana. Lana is there, but it's a different part of it. No, she's also at the beginning. Cause now I'm remembering the drawing of Lana and Angel Star. I'm remembering that specific. Okay, I remember now. Yeah, for some reason my brain was like, no, someone else is originally accused and then Lana comes in later. It's not the case. The heat is getting to me. I actually managed to like kind of save my ratio for this book. It's gonna be really good, but it's been so hot and humid that I've really struggled with like fatigue and other stuff, and my work ratio is so in like the pits of hell. This is possibly going to be my worst month like ever. I might get like in a lot of trouble. I'm hoping I won't, because I've been really good other months, but this month has been so bad. July has been really hard in a way that I was not expecting, but like when you get to like 80% humidity, it's like it's hard to focus for 8 hours while listening to audiobooks. I'm gonna be real with you. It's really difficult. It's really tough. Ugh. Wallace, we heard about the type of magic that you're studying.
Don't worry. The headmaster explained it to us already. He just want to use necromancy to become a doctor. Right?
I understand you have your reservations about talking about your magic, but in order to build a case for you, I need your spell compendium. I don't have one. I know. Eris already told us about that. That's why she gave us a blank one for you to attune to. Do I have to? It's your life on the line, and we need all the information we can get to help you. Sorry, you're right. I'll attune to it.
Alright, Wallace's spell compendium. It contains the formula for the following spells: Prestidigitation, Mend Wounds, Illusory Disguise, Revive, Animate Corpse, and Necrotic Blight. Oh, Hotwired Gaming, thank you so much for following. I really like the idea that of Athena being like a little bit weird and vague and flighty, which is one of the reasons that I think that like adding Clay in earlier could be interesting, because then even from like the beginning of the game, and I know part of it is I just like the idea of having Clay there, but I think that it's an easy way to make it so there's something off about Athena. If she gets weird when the space station is mentioned, you know, or like she reacts strangely to like Clay's jacket or something or other. Well, yes, but like even if there was just mentions of the space station earlier and Athena could react to it in some way that like implies that there is something going on there, I think that could maybe, yeah, I think it could like give us a little bit of a lead up into what's gonna happen at the end that I think is missing. a little bit in that game. I struggle a little bit with the Phantom, to be honest, because it's hard. I feel like the Phantom is hard because he's there the whole time and it's not until the end, and I feel like I want more, like I want it to tie together more, or I want it to, like, I want there to come back, you know, like, but it almost feels like something that would have to be in another game, and I don't think that Ace Attorney, like, you find out more about Edgeworth throughout the original trilogy, right? But his main story is in the original game, in AA1. That's where most of his story is. So I don't know if Ace Attorney as a game series benefits from taking arcs and, like, stretching it fully out, like, over the whole thing. Like, if Edgeworth stuff was, like, 1 and 2, if that makes sense. Like, it's a little bit, but most of his stuff is in... Does that make sense? It's kind of like when people talk about, like, oh, AA... Apollo Justice 2, that doesn't exist, you know, like, the Gavin stuff. Like, the Gavin stuff, when people are looking for more of that, I'm not actually sure if the story would benefit from having another game where, like, the big arc was Gavin related. So I'm not sure if AA6 being about the Phantom would benefit the Phantom story, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know if that's the strongest way to do that. I think DGS is weird because DGS is functionally one game, but I do think parts of DGS could have been cut down. 1.5 for DGS especially is, like, really long. 1.5 is, like, really, really long. I like DGS, like, as an overall playing experience, but I do think it's long, and there are some spots that, like, could have been cut down. But I think that's true for, like, it almost feels like a trend. To be fair, that one is, like, a little bit separate, but, like, I feel the same about AA6. AA6 is so long, and the last 2 cases are so long. Like, not DGS. I was looking at Nikki's message. AA6, like, all of these games have cases where you're like, oh my god, this is so long. Even Versus, which I really like, the last case is very, very long. It's so long. But AA6 is, like, next level in the last 2 cases, where it feels like I will get to a point in a lot of cases where I'm like, we need to move on. I feel the same about, like, when we were playing Turnabout Serenade, I was like, we gotta move on. Come on, guys, we gotta speed it up because I know where we're going, but we gotta get there faster. But there's something about the last 2 cases of AA6 where it was like, even watching someone else play it, I was like, my god. I'm not even the one doing the clicking, and I'm like, we gotta hurry up. There's this concept when you're editing something, which you don't have to stay to as a hard and fast rule, but you have to ask yourself, if you had to cut 10%, what 10% would you cut? Like, how would you cut 10% of this story if you needed to? And then, like, so figure out what that 10% is, and then ask yourself, do I really need this 10%? If the answer is yes, sometimes that's okay. You know, sometimes that is fine. But it's a good exercise to see if you actually are doing enough with your story and, like, the length of it. Because sometimes the answer is, I'm not doing enough with that 10%. And you have to kind of, like, figure out how to fold those ideas and those character development moments into other aspects of the story. Because, like, it's just, it's you know, and again, it's not a hard rule. You don't have to cut 10%, but it's a good way to think about your work and try to figure out if, like, you have too much filler that is unnecessary, and you could tighten up and strengthen your story if it was removed. Great, cool. These are spells. Oh, illusory disguise. Wow. Revive. You can revive. It does not resuscitate someone who has been dead for more than a minute. Animate corpse. Create an undead minion for the duration. Minion follows the caster's orders, but its intelligence is limited and it cannot speak. It cannot speak. This is going to be important later. It cannot speak. The minion can end the spell prematurely, but will only do so if ordered to by the caster. Necrotic Blight. Blighto. I read all of these last week and I'm not going to this time. Pulls all the life energy from the target, resulting in instant death. This spell does not wound the target, nor does it leave any physical evidence, but still leaves a magical trace. You understand the reason why he's studying this type of magic, but the spells in his compendium are pretty gruesome. It's a little terrifying that spells like this even exist.
Sorry, I know I was being difficult. A long time ago, I showed my compendium to someone I trusted. After she saw my necromancy spells, she told everyone in the academy. That's also when Professor Bellwether started coming after me. I'm sorry, that must have been hard for you. But at least you had Eris. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
How did you and Eris become friends anyway?
Another hint of fear from her. Are her fears related to Eris? Oh, Twitch, please. Pause. Okay, we're back. I think we're okay.
Oh, it's a bit of a strange story. Sometimes the other students would steal the ID number off my locker, then they'd switch it with the one on the other locker. They thought it was funny whenever the owner got angry with me. Eris had a bit of a reputation around our school. I'm not sure why, but everyone was scared of her, even the students from the nobility. It was probably due to some baseless rumors. One day somebody switched my nameplate with hers. I was so scared when she approached me, I couldn't say anything. But she didn't get angry like the others, she just apologized and gave me back my nameplate. After that, she randomly started talking to me whenever she saw me. We became friends after that.
That's nice. It's a good thing he was able to find a friend in a place like that.
So, I have to ask, if it's caused you so much trouble, why are you still studying necromancy? I want to use it to become a doctor. The headmaster told us the same thing, but you could have just stopped after learning the healing spells. Why are you learning spells that can steal people's life force and raise undead? Life and death are two sides of the same coin. That's the key principle behind necromancy.
Oh, Nikki, I'm so sorry.
The first undead was actually a failed attempt to resurrect a human being using magic.
Wow, I never knew that.
Right now, basic necromancy can only heal injuries and wounds. But it can't do anything for disease or deformities. If I could just keep studying, I know that I can create a new type of necromancy. One that can cure diseases and save lives.
He specifically wants to cure diseases. Did something happen to him to motivate him that much?
I think I can already guess the answer to this question, but how was your relationship with Catherine Bellwether? It's exactly what you'd expect. After word got out about what I was studying, Professor Bellwether would always target me. She'd start yelling at me for the smallest mistakes. She'd do that to some of the other students too, and she'd focus on the ones that were poor like me.
That's terrible.
I'd wake up each day, dreading the possibility that she'd notice me in the hallway. If I knew how to avoid her and stay out of her way. But sometimes she'd just come looking for me.
I think I read that wrong.
I can't believe that after everything she did, she's just gone. You must have mixed emotions about what just happened. I honestly don't know how to feel about it. To be honest, I always wished she would just disappear. But now that it's finally happened, I just feel even more afraid. It feels like she's going to come back from the grave to haunt me.
Even with Bellwether gone, his trauma will still probably linger.
I think I'm starting to pull things together now.
Have you figured something out? Because I have not.
Yeah, I just need some time to think through everything. The prosecution wants to implicate Wallace despite his alibi. They wouldn't have a reason to do this unless the evidence heavily implicated him. How does the evidence implicate Wallace? We've learned that Wallace is a necromancer, and he's the only person at the academy that's capable of high-level necromancy.
A magical trace of was found. Oh, I was found. Sorry. Okay, sorry. I knew what I was doing, but I got the answer wrong.
There's a trace of necromancy on the body.
This means that they think Wallace used one of his necromancy spells. Even without seeing the traces, it's pretty obvious that magic was used on the body.
Right, because there aren't any wounds on it. And the autopsy report found no signs of poison or disease.
Which spell do they think Wallace used?
If I know Prosecutor Steelwind, she probably already has a theory on which spell he might have used. The prosecution will probably argue that Wallace used one of his spells to kill Bellwether.
That's a great question, but
They will probably say that he used necrotic blight.
That makes sense. Necrotic blight would have drained the life force from her body.
bloodstained under the body has been updated. This is strange because she would have been wounded by it.
But that's where the contradiction lies. Let's suppose that Wallace did kill Bellwether using necrotic blight. There's something at the crime scene that wouldn't be there if that were true.
What is wrong with the crime scene? The blood. Lecture hall's floor was covered in blood. Oh. I think I just suck at making sure I have everything correct.
Necrotic blight is a spell that doesn't inflict any visible wounds. There shouldn't have been any blood on the body.
But then what really happened?
That's the last piece. And if I had to guess, the information we need is being hidden by one of the witnesses who discovered the body.
Valentina.
She's definitely hiding something. Did you notice how she reacted when I asked you to scan the room?
Yeah, she ran away. She didn't even try to be subtle about it.
With the way she reacted, I think she may have been trying to hide herself from your detect magic, which can only mean there's a magical trace on her.
I wonder what she was trying to hide.
There's only one way to find out. Next time you see her, could you subtly cast detect magic and scan her?
Alright. It's been a while since we talked to her. Valerie mentioned that they still had work to do today. She might be back in the Academy's kitchen now. Those two are finally gone. I can finally get some cleaning done.
Okay, there she is. Use detect magic to scan her from here.
Right.
Just don't shout the incantation like you always do.
I know that. Alright, here goes. Repario Arcanum.
What is it?
There's a trace of magic on her.
I knew it. Which school of magic is it?
It's necromancy. There's a trace of necromancy on her.
What?
What do we do now?
You're still not sure how this fits in with everything.
For now, let's talk to her and see if we can get more information out of her. If all else fails, we can confront her with the evidence we have.
It's you two again. They're back. Okay, relax. All I have to do is repeat what I told them last time.
Unfortunately for her, that won't work this time.
Miss Yanis, did you know there's a trace of necromancy on Bellwether's body?
That's what he used to kill the professor, right? A necromancy spell.
That's the thing. If that were true, a lot of the evidence we found doesn't make sense. I think someone else cast a spell on the body. Is it possible you saw someone use magic on Bellwether?
No, calm down. There's no way they know.
Her thoughts are an open book now. If you beat her in an argument, her thoughts might show what she's hiding. Uh-oh. Valentina Yanis' psychological profile is complete. Valentina clearly knows more than she's letting on. She found the body alongside her sister and reacted strangely when you mentioned someone might have used magic on the body. What is she hiding? Shit, I forgot I wanted to take a picture to read all his little thingies.
Sienna's, from the very beginning, I felt like you've been hiding something from us.
Wait, what's her psychological profile? Valentina is more concerned with protecting herself than doing the right thing. She will continue to hide her secrets unless she thinks that doing so is dangerous for her. She sees Wallace as a villainous necromancer and will not feel pity for him.
There's something here that you're not telling us.
What are you talking about? My conscience is clear. I've told you in the nights everything I know. I've got nothing to hide. I need to stay calm.
Miss Yanis, it's clear to anyone how nervous you are. I can practically see the fear you're emanating right now. Just tell us the truth. It'll be a lot easier for the both of us.
Let's say I were hiding something, which I'm not, by the way. I don't have to tell you anything. Why should I tell you anything? I know my rights.
You've already given your statement to the Inquisition. If the truth comes out, do you think they'll do anything as they lied to them? I'll make sure you're protected, or...
You've already given your statement to the Inquisition. If the truth comes out, what do you think they'll do when they realize you lied to them? Who are you protecting, Miss Yanis?
You talk a big game, but I bet you can't actually prove anything, can you? You think I'm lying to protect someone? I don't know anyone who can use magic. I don't even know any mages, and I definitely didn't see anyone use magic on the body.
You can't hide the truth from us, Miss Yanis.
What?
You've said that you've never seen a necromancy spell before. If that were true, then why is there a trace of necromancy on you?
Wait, what? There's a trace of necromancy on me?
Argument 1. What? Did she not know about the spell that was cast on her? No, that doesn't make any sense. If she didn't know about the trace, she wouldn't have avoided Celeste back then. There must be an explanation for this. Is it twin shenanigans? Is the answer twin shenanigans? Guys, I think it's twin shenanigans. You have successfully argued against Valentina Yanis.
This is crazy. Why is there a trace of necromancy on me? Am I going to die? Am I going to become a zombie?
That's strange. Is she really unaware that a spell was cast on her? Or is she playing dumb? Why doesn't Valentina know that the spell was necromancy? She knows someone used magic on her, but she doesn't know the spell was necromancy.
Calm down, Miss Yanis. Not all necromancy spells are relate to the undead. Healing spells are also from the school of necromancy.
Healing spells? Oh, it was from that time she healed that cat.
She? That implies she knows a mage who studies healing magic. Could that person be a student here?
Sorry, I just remembered there's something else I have to do. I'll be right back. Hey, come back here.
Ugh, she ran away again.
I can catch her. There's no way she can outrun me. I'm so fucking fast, Tyrion.
No, the Inquisition is still stationed around the surrounding areas. They'd probably intervene if we started harassing one of the witnesses.
That's true. But we weren't able to learn anything.
Actually, I did learn one thing. She had a friend who cast a healing spell on her.
Really? How'd you figure that out?
Good deductive reasoning.
Wow. Real BBC Sherlock over here. Well, healing magic is also a form of necromancy, right? I guess that explains the trace on her. It's a good thing we know Wallace. Otherwise, he might have also thought the necromancer was trying to kill her. Wait a minute.
That's it.
What? Did you figure something out?
This whole time we've been wondering why there's a trace of necromancy on the body. It isn't because someone attacked Bellwether with a necromancy spell. It's because someone used necromancy in an attempt to heal her.
Oh, I see. It doesn't matter what type of necromancy spell someone uses. Spells from the same school of magic leave the same trace.
It's not just that. The body clearly has blood on it. What would happen if someone used a healing spell on a wounded body?
It would close all of that body's wounds.
In other words, it would remove any cuts or bruises.
Well, interrogating Valentina may have been a dead end, but it still gave us what we needed to win this case.
I'm not so sure that was a dead end.
What do you mean? It's not that suspicious that she asked someone to heal her if she injured herself.
But if it's only that, why would she have gone to so much trouble to hide it? It's too coincidental. The wounds on the body were healed by an unknown person, and the person who found the body is hiding the identity of a healer. They have to be the same person.
I guess that makes sense. So what do we do now?
Valentina is definitely onto us. I doubt we'll get a third chance to speak with her. Hopefully what we have now is enough to acquit Wallace.
You've done everything you can. Use what you've learned to poke holes in the prosecution's case. And if that doesn't work, you can drag Valentina on the witness stand and pull the truth out of her. You just hope what she's hiding is enough to acquit Wallace. Oh.
I demand to know why you're still holding on to my rapier. It's a precious family heirloom and I want it back. It's evidence,
And their voices are too similar. It'll be fine.
It's evidence in the current case. Evidence. The professor was killed with necromancy. Was she, though? Why are you asking me? You're the one who's investigating this. I suppose it doesn't matter. Just know that I will bring her murderer to justice, no matter who it may be. Huh.
Okay. Alright, it's time for the trial. Just take deep breaths and relax. Hi, Tyrion.
Celeste, don't sneak up on me like that.
Why are you so nervous? It's not as if this is your first time defending someone. You risked that with me.
I can't help it. There's something about this building that just fills me with anxiety.
It's too bad Ruby couldn't make it. Your mom's really busy. I'd say that you should calm down for Wallace's sake, but
There are so many people here, and they're all staring at me. Their eyes are prying into me like a pack of flesh-eating maggots.
gross.
Don't worry, Wallace. Our investigation revealed a lot of weaknesses in the prosecution's case. We have a strong case for your acquittal. Okay.
See, you can be confident when you want to be.
It's strange. Something is calming about Wallace's anxiety. It's like he just absorbs the tension out of you and into himself. It's so true though. It's like if you have someone with you who's like more anxious than you are, then sometimes it's like, okay, I'll be fine.
Court is now in session for the trial of Wallace Nightgrave.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is also ready. Very well. Let's begin the proceedings. Prosecutor Steelwind, could you please list the charges?
I think I did that last week too.
The defendant is a student at the Wyvern Imperial Academy. Mr. Nightgrave is charged with first-degree murder, negligent misuse of arcane arts, and illegal practice of advanced necromancy.
Necromancy? Do you mean to tell me the defendant is a necromancer?
I can't believe it. A necromancer in this day and age?
How could the kingdom let this happen? Your Honor, I would like to remind the court that they should view my client objectively. Of course, but one can easily see it from the list of charges. Necromancy plays a large role in the charges.
Indeed, the crime occurred while within the academy this morning.
Damn, we are going out at a clip.
The victim is Catherine Bellwether, a professor at the school. Although there were no witnesses, traces of necromancy were detected on the body. Furthermore, the autopsy report shows that the body had no physical wounds.
I see.
Necromancy is the only type of magic that can harm an individual without physically wounding them. Additionally, the alchemist report shows no signs of poison or disease. Therefore, one can only conclude that a necromancer had committed the crime. As many of you know, necromancy is held under high scrutiny by the Crown. Aside from the defendant, no other students were permitted to learn advanced necrotic magic. As such, the defendant was the only mage in that building capable of committing the murder.
I see. That's certainly compelling evidence.
To properly present our case, the prosecution would like to call Commander Orem White to the stand. Commander White, please testify to the court about the Inquisition's findings.
Yeah. It started when the City Watch got a call from the Imperial Academy. Someone was attacked, and the whole building was put on lockdown. We set up a perimeter around the area and waited for the lockdown system to deactivate. When we finally got into the building, oh no. The prosecutor personally inspected the body and detected traces of necromancy on it. There were no cuts or bruises on the body either. The entire body was clean. With those two pieces of evidence, we concluded that it could only be the necromancer kid that did it.
The Inquisition testimony is just as you expected. You've already found and identified the holes in Steelwind's case. And all you have to do is find the hole in the commander's testimony.
Mr. Cuthbert, you begin your cross-examination.
I am also checking my email real quick. Gotta delete some messages.
It's
down.
Why did the prosecutor inspect the body instead of the Inquisition? Well,
How I conducted the investigation is irrelevant to the proceedings. Or would you like to insinuate that I am not as competent as Commander White?
You don't question her competency, but it's still a bizarre decision on her part.
while the court admits that the prosecutor's actions are unorthodox, we see no reason to question the prosecutor's abilities.
Thank you, Your Honor.
How carefully was the body checked? Perhaps the prosecution missed something.
The coroner couldn't even find the smallest cut, bruise, or fracture on the body. Furthermore, the alchemist's report showed no signs of poison or disease. The coroner was actually astounded at how unscathed the body was.
That makes sense. If someone had used mend wounds on the body, it would have healed even the most minor of injuries. The question is, how do you prove that? Okay, let's maybe present...
Objection!
Commander White, it appears you've neglected to mention one detail of the crime scene. Yeah? What's that? During your testimony, you said that the entire body was clean. I will admit that there weren't any wounds on the body. However, the body was certainly not clean. At the scene of the crime, there was a large pool of blood located where the body was. This blood came from the victim's body, and it was definitely not clean like the commander testified. I'm sorry, Mr. Cuthbert, but I fail to see the significance of this.
This is gonna sound weird. It is so hot. I have Birks that I wear around the house. It is so hot that the cork has expanded and they are too tight on my feet. That is how hot it is. They've changed size because it is so hot and humid. They've the cork has taken in some of the water from the air, and they're too tight now. They don't fit right. It's really bizarre. It's bothering me. That's why I'm telling you.
I'd like to remind the court of the prosecution's case against my client. They are accusing him of murdering the victim using necrotic blight, a spell which would not have physically wounded the victim. So why was there any blood at all?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. The fact still stands. There were no wounds on the body, nor were there any reports of any poison or disease in the autopsy. There are clearly magical elements in this case.
But Catherine Bellwether was bleeding profusely at some point. How else would there be a bloodstain on the body? Do you have an explanation for that, Miss Steelwind?
No, I'll admit the prosecution doesn't have an explanation for that. And while I do find the circumstances questionable, all other evidence clearly points to the defendant.
Which spell would leave a trace of necromancy?
If the victim wasn't killed with necromancy, why was there a trace of it on the body?
I'm glad you asked. I'd like to present a spell that could have left a trace of necromancy on the body.
I know what it is. I'm just checking all my other ones that I currently have.
Mend wounds? Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that a healing spell? That's correct, Your Honor. Spells from the School of Necromancy can control the forces of death and life. Mend Wounds is in fact a necromancy spell. Really now? I wasn't aware of this. Now I'd like the court to consider the following. What would happen if Bellwether was wounded and someone attempted to heal her using Mend Wounds? All her wounds would disappear from her body. I see.
Objection!
Arya!
Do you honestly think I'm that incompetent, Mr. Cuthbert? Frankly, I'm a little insulted.
What?
The Inquisition is well aware of what happens when a mage attempts to save a victim using Mend Wounds. The healers that arrived at the scene already confirmed that the victim was long dead. None of them attempted to heal her.
Well, what if someone tried to heal her and didn't report it?
Please, none of the healers would have anything to gain by doing so. In fact, as a necromancer, the defendant could have easily carried out the described scenario. He could have cast Mend Wounds on the victim after murdering her to confound the investigation. At the end of the day, the burden of proof is on you. But if you could just find out who healed the body, this case is yours. And whoever the healer is, Valentina definitely knows her.
So girl, fess up.
Your Honor, I will admit that I don't have any evidence to support my theory.
My back just clenched up so bad, hold on.
Oh, I cannot pop this. Okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
However, I do believe that we can bring it to light. There may have been two people that witnessed someone cast magic on the body. Valentina and Valerie Iannis, the sisters who discovered the body.
This is nonsense. We've already questioned those two witnesses extensively. If they had witnessed something like that, it would have come up in their testimony.
If that's true, then you have nothing to lose by hearing their testimonies.
Very well. If you're so confident, let's hear the witness's testimony.
It seems the prosecution has no objections. However, if this line of questioning leads nowhere, I will see no reason to further prolong this trial. Do you understand, Mr. Cuthbert? Of course, Your Honor.
I think we're gonna be done.
Crap, it's
That guy from before. Once we go into the actual testimony, I'm gonna be done because it's not too early, but it is so hot that I need to go lay down.
Is he the necromancer's lawyer?
She just got on the stand, but she's already stressed out. Girl, me too. This could work in your favor.
Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. My name? Witness, there's no need to be so nervous. We merely want to hear what you saw on the day of the murder. Right, it's just that guy over there. You mean Mr. Cuthbert? Did this man harass you, witness?
Wait a minute.
Yeah. He, super harassed me.
How shameful. I would expect a member of our justice system to behave more professionally. Shut up. Anyways, please state your name and occupation for the record, Ms. Yanis.
Just calm down. He can't prove anything. My name is Valentina Yanis. I'm a member of the kitchen staff at the Wyvengard Imperial Academy. As I recall, you're one of the witnesses who discovered the body. Apparently, the defense finds your involvement suspect. Rest assured, Miss Yanis, in this courtroom, you will be protected from Mr. Cuthbert's harassment. Now, please testify to the court what happened that day. Yeah.
I'll read this like I usually do, and then we'll go to bed.
I was walking with my sister in the West Wing when we noticed something in a nearby classroom. We looked over to see what it was, and that's when we saw Miss Bellworth bleeding out on the ground. My sister tried her best to help her, but the professor had already lost a lot of blood. When my sister did that, I used an emergency communication device to call for help. But it was too late. By the time her bleeding stopped, she'd already lost too much blood. If your theory is true, that means she just lied in her testimony. She's definitely holding something back.
She definitely saw more than she's letting on.
You just need to prove that somehow.
Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination.
Next, not even. Okay. Save. Thank you all for coming. I am going to go eat some ice cream and lay in bed in the dark and try to cool down. Here, can I pull up a calendar real quick? I can. Let's all look at a calendar together real quick. Woohoo! Calendar moments. Great. So, here we are today. You can't see my cursor. Hold on. That would probably help. There we go. So, I am actually going away. So, it's either the 17th or 18th that I'm going away. And so I'll be away from... here. So there's going to be no stream Thursday, no stream Friday, and probably no stream Monday, because I'm going to be with my friends Haley and Nella. So I'm taking a bit of a vacation. I was supposed to go to a con. We did not get in, even though we thought we were going to. So I'm just going to go see them instead to make some use of my vacation time, maybe do some art fight. So my next stream will actually be on the 25th, which is VLR. Red, sure. And then the 26th, which is not A4, so this is just going to be work stream maybe, because Ronnie is actually away. And then, so this one, the next one, we will do this one for the 29th. So, yeah, that's what's up. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else I need to say here. Hannah, please try to join me from camping, because I think it'll be funny. But yeah, thank you all for coming. If it's hot where you are, please hydrate. For me, please hydrate. Have a good week-ish until more than a week. Have a good, week and a few days until I see you again. Yeah, I've got nothing to say. This game I'm having a lot of fun with this game, so I hope you're enjoying it. And yeah, I'll talk to you all later. Have a good time. I'll see you. I'm going to remember to put my stream, my Twitch in vacation mode. I'll do that right now. And then over the next, tomorrow and Wednesday, no, just tomorrow I'm going to try to upload 4 or 5 VODs. So, hopefully between the few days that I'm free, I'll try to upload a ton of VODs, because I'm still not caught up with Nancy Drew. We're going to try to catch up, but I have 200 more to go, and it's very tiring. All right. Thank you all. Good night. Goodbye. Good night.